What's up guys, English Dan. That is a red Solo Cup that I forgot to move. I'm not going to move it, and you're going to be able to see it all the way through this review. Anyway, I've been using the phone for about the last 6 weeks. I carry two phones around, and one is my personal, one is my business. This has been my main phone, let's say, to use. It's $499, and let me tell you, I'm really impressed with it. Welcome back, guys. So yeah, been using this phone for about 6 weeks now. It's $499 this phone, and I swear you're gonna look at this thing and be like, there is no way that is $499. Looks alone, this looks like $1,000 cell phone. They've hit it out the park when it comes to the aesthetics on this, but it's not all about just how this phone looks. But yeah, this is the device. Look at the color of that. This is called marine blue. Look at the way it just shimmers in that light. It changes color from, it's hard to see it here, but it goes from like a purple to a really turquoisey green to a blue. It's fantastic color, and it has like this glossy accent stripe here as well as the matte finish, as you can see, and it has a quad camera setup, and it's flat. There's no camera bump. Amazing. I love that. Even the flash, slightly raised, but I mean nothing like you get nowadays. If I hold it here like this, look, you see, you can't see it. You can't. Really good job. This thing also has a 750G Snapdragon processor, 6GB of RAM, 256GB of storage, an OLED display, headphone jack, IR blaster, all premium glass build with metal frame, in-screen fingerprint sensor that I can only do when I'm looking at it, and face unlock. This phone's got everything going for it. What is this thing? It's the TCL 20 Pro 5G. Now, I know some people have already had their review out for a while. I didn't want to just throw a review out there quick. I wanted to use this device over some time and give you what I really do think about this device. I know a lot of people used it for a few days and then threw a review out there. I really liked the TCL 10 Pro from last year, so I really wanted to put this one through its paces. And let me tell you, I'm mightily impressed. So let's get a little bit deeper into the specs. Like I said, it does have a Snapdragon 750G processor, a 6.67-inch OLED display, 2400 by 1080 pixels. It's very sharp, very sharp, and very bright too. It comes with Android 11, but they have promised that it'll be updated to Android 12, and it is also eligible. TCL have made it available that you can use the Android 12 beta, so you can go ahead and download that on this. I've not used it myself, but maybe I will. You get 6GB of RAM, like I said. It's LPDDR4 RAM as well, so it's pretty quick. You do get 256GB of internal storage, which is really nice for a device like this. At this price range, that's a lot of storage. And on top of that, you do get SD card usage. So if 256GB isn't enough for you, throw yourself an SD card in there. You got plenty of storage. Storage for days. Bluetooth 5.1, NFC, your usual GPS, and blah blah blah. All the goodies are there when it comes to connectivity. IP52 rating, so not the highest IP rating, but still it does offer some water resistance and dust resistance. It's okay. Comes with a really good 4,500 milliamp hour battery. I'll get more onto the battery in a little while, but I've seen people say that the battery wasn't that great for them. I've not had an issue with the battery. The battery's lasted me all day, easy, but I'll get onto that in a little while. Supports quick charging, 18-watt quick charging, and it does come in the box. I'm not going to do an unboxing because there's been that many unboxings of this phone. I just want to talk to you about the device. And it has the quad camera setup, which is really nice actually. They've really done a decent job when it comes to the cameras. What you get is a 48 megapixel main camera with f1.79 if I remember rightly. Also has optical image stabilization on that main camera, which is really nice. A lot of the lower end or mid-range, the lower end devices like to cut that out and don't give you any stabilization. Well, TCL have. Also has a 16 megapixel f2.4 ultra-wide camera with 123 degree viewing angles. So that's really wide. It is very good. 5 megapixel macro camera. Better than what you normally get on a lot of phones. They're normally 2 megapixel. 5 megapixel on this, you can get in pretty close. Not bad. 2 megapixel, depth sensor. That's going to help with portrait shots, things like that. And lastly, it has a 32 megapixel selfie camera. I kid you not. So let's just talk about the hardware for a minute. I've just briefly gone over all that, and you know that the phone is made out of glass, but it's really, really well built, this phone. It really does look like a $1,000 phone. If this had Samsung printed on it and Galaxy wrote on it somewhere, you'd be like, damn, that is a nice phone, Samsung. TCL have really knocked it out the park here, and I love the way there is no camera hump on the back of this thing. It's just a really good looking phone. The amount of people that have turned around to me and gone, that is an awesome looking phone. I swear, it's probably the most attention-seeking phone I have had. People love it when they see it. They've seen nothing like it. They think it's fantastic. It is really beautiful. And like I say, it's really well made. There's no gaps or anything like that. It's really solid. It's just a really solid slab. I mean, they've really gone into this with great, great thoughts of hardware. And it really has blow me away, to be honest, the way this phone feels. There is only one downside to the build quality, and that is the buttons they shake a little bit inside. Yes, that's me nitpicking. That's right. That's the sound of Dan nitpicking when it comes to build quality, because it's that good. I mean, it really is. It's that good. You can't go wrong with the build quality on this. You're probably going to struggle to find a phone that looks as good, if not anywhere near as good as this at $499. Even at $1,000, like I say, this thing is just a good device. I mean, look at the way the light shimmers off it. TCL have knocked it out of the park when it comes to build quality with this phone. The TCL 10 Pro last year was really good build quality. This steps it up again. TCL really do know how to design a device. So when it comes to the speakers on this device, it actually only has one, which is a little weird. Itchy nose. Means someone's going to shout at me. Probably the wife. Anyway, a bit of a surprise that it only comes with a single speaker, because the 20S, which I don't know whether I'm getting that in for review or not, but the 20S has stereo speakers. This doesn't. I understand that they have to make some compromises to get into that $499 price range, but I would have liked to have seen stereo speakers on this. The speaker that is on it is plenty loud enough, but there's not a lot of depth in there. So if you're going to be thinking of listening to music out loud, you may not find it a desirable device for that, but it's plenty loud enough. If you need something loud that you can hear ringing and hear your notifications come through really from quite a distance away, you have no problem with this. The display on this thing is killer. It's an AMOLED display. Like I say, it's a 1080p display, but it's really, really sharp. It looks fantastic. It does have 391 ppi, if I remember correctly, which it looks really good on this. 6.67 inches. Bright as hell. I mean, it's really bright. You can see this outdoors in the sunlight, bright sunlight, no problem. You get some other phones like the Pixel 4 XL and things like that. They really struggle outdoors. Not this thing. This thing, you could light up my bedroom with it if you put it on full. It's huge. It's just really bright. Really good for watching anything on there media wise. It has the Next Vision on there from TCL, which recreates HDR for non-HDR devices, for non-HDR media, which does look really good. I think it looks great, especially if you're watching something on Netflix. This screen just comes through fantastic. As you can see on the device, let's see if I can get it zoomed in a little bit for you. Not zoomed in, but focused in. You got your hole punch camera. That's your 32 megapixel selfie camera right there, centered into the top of the actual device, which is nice. I do prefer them tucked over to the left, but I don't mind this one at all. It looks just fine. So over on the right hand side, you do get the buttons, power button and your volume buttons are here. And on the other side, you get your, I think they call it an action key, and you can set this to do things you want instead of being told what it's going to do. So pretty nice. When it comes to using this programmable button on the side, you can do like one press, two presses, three presses. It'll launch the camera, launch the music player, optimize the device, things like that. So it is quite a handy key to use. I use it like I've just told you now. That is my use scenario with this. I think it's a really good idea, and I would like to see more manufacturers get on this. TCL have come up with quite a good one. Also does have USB-C charging, just in case you were wondering. But yeah, it's USB-C, so all good there. One cable for everything. If you look on top of the device, let's get that focused in. There we go. 3.5mm headphone jack, microphone, IR blaster. This will work with your TCL TVs, so you can sit there if you lose the remote like I do very often. You've got it right here with the IR blaster. You don't see them on phones much anymore, but yes, right now you do. So this phone is 5G. I use T-Mobile and it does use sub-6 on T-Mobile. I don't know about the other carriers. I believe that it's certified for 4G LTE. Sorry, didn't mute my device. Thanks, Facebook. I know it's certified for 4G LTE on AT&T, but I would say go ahead and check your bands with your carrier just to make sure you can get the best use out of this, so you know where you're going to be at. But I had no problem with sub-6 5G on T-Mobile. It's not been an issue. So as I said earlier, this does come with Android 11 and it will get it upgraded to Android 12 in due time, and it is also a part of the Android 12 beta program, so you can put Android 12 on this if you want to test it out and see how it is. I've not done it yet. I may do it eventually, but right now I'm quite happy with the way the phone works as it is. With the beta, you might get things that don't work and it'll disappoint you, and that's why I've left it stock for now. I probably will, though, like I say, go ahead and use Android 12. Now, when it comes to Android on this device, it is very stock. There's very few apps that TCL have thrown on there, and the apps that they've thrown on there are pretty much value apps, things for optimizing the device. Just giving you a better user experience so you can program the programmable button. Also, they have a TCL gallery. There's an FM radio transmitter in here as well, so if you want to listen to the radio on your phone, hey, well done TCL, bringing back features back from things we've not seen for a long time. And then you got the NextVision utility app. So pretty standard. You know, they've not bloated the crap out of this phone whatsoever. Quite happy with that. Helps with the speed as well. I'll get more on that shortly. This also does come with the Edge Bar. The Edge Bar is like what you see on the Samsung Note devices, where you can swipe it in from the right from the edge of the screen. It'll give you some shortcuts to your most used apps. Feature I don't use. I didn't use it on any of the Samsung devices I've owned. I've not used it on this, but I know some people who do, and it's quite handy for them. So yeah, it's there if you want it. Also, when you press the fingerprint sensor, if you leave your finger on there, you can do a quick launch sequence. And what that does is when you're holding the fingerprint sensor, the icons for whatever you want as your quick launch apps will open up, so you can literally slide to that and it will open that app straight away from unlocking with your fingerprint sensor. Pretty nifty. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for the phone, but what's it like to use? How's that 750G with the 6GB of RAM? So at $499, it's quite a convoluted space that nowadays. There's quite a lot of phones in the 400 to 500 range, all vying for that top dog position. You've just got the Pixel 5a that's just come out, that's $450. You've got various Motorola and Samsung devices that are all in that league. Well, I'll just say, when it comes to build quality, like I said before, it blows all of those away. Now, in usability, I was a little concerned when I saw it had a 750G. I was hoping it'd go with the 765G. But let me tell you, I've not had an issue with the 750G whatsoever. It's really snappy, and I think that helps a lot down to the software. Android 11 not being full of bloatware. They've left it kind of vanilla, if you would say, and it really does help the device. There's no high refresh rate screen on here, so you're not going to get that super smooth motion, but you are still going to get a really snappy experience. I had no problem flicking through apps. Apps stay open. I'm not having to reload things. It's not getting stuck. Very, very occasional lag if I'm opening a large size game, and you can game on this device, no problem. You can play Call of Duty Mobile, you can play PUBG, Fortnite, no problem. This thing will do it, it'll handle it just fine. Just know that there might be a little bit of lag when switching between apps if you've got any of them loaded in, but other than that, I've had no issue. I can go right through my social media, scroll through my Twitter and things like that, and I'm not getting any hiccups. The 750G in this device is working really well. TCL have done a good job when it comes to optimizing the software to go with the hardware. Very, very impressed. Now, like I said, the screen on this thing is superb. It's the AMOLED display, 6.67 inches. Blacks are obviously really black because of an AMOLED display. If it's black, the screen does not turn on, so you're not getting any of that backlight bleed or anything like that. Colors come through really nice and punchy. It's just a really nice viewing experience on this device. I've been extremely happy watching anything through this thing. I think it's fantastic. It's one of the best 1080p AMOLED displays I've actually seen. And I said this last year about the TCL 10 Pro, because that also had a similar type of display. And it just looks great. When you're watching media that's not got HDR, this thing will it'll make that content look like it's HDR, and it does a really good job at it. So if you're looking for something that's going to be really good for media, whether it's YouTube, watching movies through Netflix or Google TV or anything like that, you're going to be really happy with what comes out of the display. It's fantastic. When it comes to call quality on this thing, it's absolutely fine. I have no problems. It's not echoey like you can get on some of the mid-range and lower cost phones. People are not hearing a ton of noise behind me when I'm talking to them, if I'm outside or anything like that. So call quality on this thing, really decent. So when it comes to the cameras on this device, you can get some really, really good results. Now, I'm not saying you can get S21 Ultra results, but at the price point that it's at, with some decent lighting, you can get some really good photographs. It does a good job of doing some portraits. The wide camera works really well. It just does good. You can get nice and close up with the macro, have some fun with that. The depth sensor works when it comes to the portraits, and it does do a good job. The cutout's pretty good there. It does suffer a little bit when you start to lose light, and that is what happens with a lot of devices in this price range. But yeah, in the daytime and in decent light, like I've got my light here in front of me, this thing can take some good pictures. I'll take one right now, and so you can see my ugly mug. Like I said before, look, see, this thing is quick. Just so you can see it here. There's probably other bits that I'm showing you. You know what I'm like. I just throw my clips on my video as I go and you get to see it. But there you go. While it's in my hands now, it's fine. Totally quick. But let's take a quick selfie. All right. So we're going to load up the camera. I am going to show you something else shortly as well. But we're going to go to portrait mode and we're going to take a picture of myself in decent light. There we go. Let me tell you, it processes a lot faster than the Pixel. But let's see. And that's the picture you get out of it. It's a really good camera setup. That's the 32 megapixel selfie camera, and it works really well. It gives a really good quality picture. So if you're using this for social media, uploading to Facebook, TikTok, things like that, doing video, things like that, this is going to do you really well. It does a good job when it comes to the photographs. So overall, what do I think of this phone? I am bowled over by it. At $499, you're not going to get a better built, better looking device than this. 750G, like I say, did worry me, but I've had no issues with it. It's been perfectly snappy. The cameras on it are good cameras, especially in this price point. Only going to be bested, I would say, by probably the Pixel. The iPhone SE might have a go at it, only because they can handle low light a little better than this. But in the daytime, I would put this up against anything. And you can load Gcam on there. If you don't know what Gcam is, that's the Pixel camera. You can load that onto the device and you're going to get the software wizardry from the Pixel on this phone, and it does improve it again, especially in low light situations. So yeah, that's something you can do. It's a bit of a cheat, and it's not something that, you know, everybody is going to do or people know what to do. It's very easy to do, but you can do it if you need to, but you don't have to, because the regular camera app does do a good job. Doesn't stutter, doesn't get hot. I don't find it to have any issues like that. Video calls work great. Sometimes when you do video calling, the phone can get really hot. I'm not finding that on this device. I do get it on others. Frame rates drop and things like that. No, works good. So I'm quite happy with this phone. Would I recommend it to you? Hell yeah, absolutely. At $499, you're getting a hell of a deal when it comes to this device, and it comes with a charger in the box. I mean, really? Nowadays, that's like a fad thing. This phone looks $1 million. It performs really well. The screen on it is top notch. You're going to really enjoy the TCL 20 Pro 5G. Let me know if you've already got one. They also make this in I think it's called Moonstone Grey, which is also really good, but the Marine Blue, let me tell you, is the one to go for. Links down there. Let me know what you think. I love this device. I hope you do too. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.